We're now going to install the plugin for data management in the cloud, and we'll start by closing the SOLIDWORKS software. Next, we'll launch a web browser, enter our username and password, and log in to the 3DEXPERIENCE. Here you can see that I've logged in to a blank tab on my dashboard. And I've done this on purpose because we're not interested in the contents of any widgets or information on the dashboard. We're interested in the section with roles and apps. So I click on the compass in the upper left and scroll down into the section with My Apps until I find the app called 3DEXPERIENCE Connector for SOLIDWORKS. Now before we move on, let's talk about this app and what to do if it's not present. When your company purchases 3DEXPERIENCE, your administrator will grant you one or more roles. A role is simply a bundle of programs or a bundle of apps. For example, the first role, which is assigned to all users in 3DEXPERIENCE, is called Collaborative Business Innovator. This role contains over a dozen apps, many of which are used throughout your interactions with 3DEXPERIENCE. Therefore, the Collaborative Business Innovator role is a prerequisite to all other roles. The Collaborative Industry Innovator role is another role which contains over a dozen apps. These apps are utilized throughout 3DEXPERIENCE when performing data management related tasks. Therefore, the Collaborative Industry Innovator role is a prerequisite to using the SOLIDWORKS plugin for data management in the cloud. Now, the Collaborative Designer for SOLIDWORKS role is a role that most SOLIDWORKS users will need to do data management in the cloud. This role contains an app which allows users to download and install the plugin for SOLIDWORKS. But keep in mind that a role is a bundle of apps, and therefore we sometimes see the same app present in multiple roles. For example, the 3DEXPERIENCE connector for SOLIDWORKS is present in the Collaborative Designer for SOLIDWORKS, but it's also present in the role called 3D Creator, in the role called 3D Sculptor, in the role called 3D Sheet Metal Creator, and in the future, this app may be present in additional roles. So when we go down and we're looking through this list and we do not see the 3DEXPERIENCE connector for SOLIDWORKS, it may be because we don't have the appropriate prerequisites. And the prerequisites for doing data management in the cloud using the SOLIDWORKS plugin are Collaborative Business Innovator, Collaborative Industry Innovator, and the Collaborative Designer for SOLIDWORKS roles, or one of the other roles that also happens to contain this app. If you don't have these prerequisites, then you need to talk to your administrator and ask them to grant you these roles. So now let's get back to the installation of the SOLIDWORKS plugin. First, I double check to make sure I've got the appropriate prerequisite roles. I do. So I scroll down to the bottom and single click on the app called 3DEXPERIENCE Connector for SOLIDWORKS. This will begin the installation on my SOLIDWORKS computer. A dialog box may appear asking if you'd like to install all granted roles or roles containing SOLIDWORKS. You should choose roles containing SOLIDWORKS. So this is going to launch the installation of the plugin for SOLIDWORKS. You'll see a pop-up in the lower right corner. You'll see the main installation dialog box, and you can just do next, finish. It works pretty straightforward. A couple of things to look out for along the way are, number one, you may need to install Java 64-bit as a prerequisite. If that's the case, just follow the prompts and make sure you get the appropriate version of Java. Number two, along the way, you may be asked to perform one or more reboots. It's totally expected, especially when you're installing a plugin for SOLIDWORKS. And number three, after those reboots are complete, if you still don't see the add-in, just go back to the web browser and click on this icon again. It may mean that more updates are needed. Okay, so the installation and reboot are complete, and now I'm going to check to make sure that the add-in is working. We go down to the bottom of our add-ins and we look for the add-in for data management in the cloud. As we can see, the official title is 3DEXPERIENCE PLM Services, but I often refer to this as Data Management in the Cloud or the SOLIDWORKS plugin. Let's click the check mark in both columns so the Data Management in the Cloud plugin launches every time we launch SOLIDWORKS, and click OK. We can see that a new tab appears in our SOLIDWORKS task pane, and from within that new tab, we can choose Connect. Now the question is, what are we going to be connecting to? And we're going to answer that question in the next video.